KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station.
Yeah, I hit yesterday. Not yesterday, last week, yeah.
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center.
And we got 30 seconds.
Referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
Our Saturday looking hot. We've got an excessive heat warning in effect with a forecast high of 113 degrees. That'll set a new record for heat on the day and a mostly sunny sky. Then at night falling to an overnight low of 87 degrees. For the Fox 10 weather experts.
All right, we are good to go. 15 seconds. So when do you want me to make my pick?
By Indeed.com. Summer days getting shorter and business
end of the first segment
getting longer.
Sounds good.
Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place.
Okay. NFL.
Get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com.
All right, I'll come up with something. Here we go.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, Take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeart Radio.
And you are live.
Welcome in. Take the Points live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. And ladies and gentlemen, football is officially back. We had Thursday night football, Chiefs-Lions. We had some Friday college football games. We've got some morning college football games that are going. And we've got NFL tomorrow and on Monday. Hello, everybody. I'm Jackson Groff, as always, on Take the Points. And Mike Gross and Mike Bauer, the old guys, are on vacation this week. So when they're on vacation, you know who to call, fans of the show. He's the executive producer of The Drive with Jody Ayler on Fox Sports 910, up-and-coming sports broadcaster. You can follow him on Twitter at Garcia Talks, and he does a lot of talking on Twitter. Is it Twitter or X? I don't know if you can call it Twitter or X there, Ben, but Benjamin Garcia, welcome to the program once again. Appreciate you coming on. I know it was kind of a last-minute thing, but appreciate you coming on first. And then second, how are you doing on the Saturday?
I'm doing great, but the Twitter thing, the X thing, when I'm just throwing darts at a dartboard, hoping something sticks. And when it doesn't, there's the delete button there. It's something some people should use more often. I take advantage of that. And then you have, those guys going on vacation. I don't even know what that is. When was the last time you were on a vacation?
Well, yeah, so Bauer's actually in Italy. And then Gross, I think, is in Wisconsin. So, yeah, I haven't been on vacation in a while. That's something, us being young guys, young broadcasters, we can't take a lot of days in vacation off. So, we'll let the old guys take some vacation. Then, of course, we've got our national champion at the board today, Ryan Sirk, who will be making his soccer pick, and he is hot right now, 14-2. Ryan, if you're in the back right there, how are you doing on this Saturday?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, guys. It's good to hear you guys' voices live on the air.
I know. We've got football and we've got football to talk about in the first segment, but let's start with the opening line. What games have been going on for those either driving or watching us on YouTube or live streaming as well? Let's go through the morning slate of games, and we've got to start out with Ohio State, number 5 Ohio State, at home against Youngstown State. And, guys, this line opened up at minus 45 for Ohio State. They're up 21, but I'm going to throw it to you, Ben, because there's been a lot of Caleb Williams talk with the Arizona Cardinals, but another guy the Cardinals should look at has had a hell of a first half.
Yeah, you and I talked about this pre-show. We were doing some prep because we do that.
We do prep.
We don't just show up here and just start talking. Marvin Harrison Jr., 7 receptions, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. A huge monster explosion in the first half after last week when everyone was down on Marvin Harrison Jr. Just talking nonsense. It's awesome because this is just Cardinal watch. The season, if you're a Cardinals fan, starts on Saturday, not Sunday. You're already looking forward to next season, whether it's Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. Right now, 7 receptions, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, in that last week game, he only had 23 yards receiving. So he probably had a talk with McCord. Hey, give me the rock. Give me the ball. I'm going to make plays. 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whatever you think about either Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams, whatever, this guy needs to be on the roster next year, regardless of what you decide at the quarterback position.
That's really funny that you say that, because it's kind of like back in the day when people were into Twilight. It was like Team Edward, Team Jacob. You got Team Kyler and Team Caleb Williams. But in the middle, everyone is Team Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like a consolation prize, because it'd be pretty tough for the Cardinals not to be able to be in position to not get him if the season goes as we all think it might will, whether it's the Cardinals draft pick or the Texans draft pick. Let's just say he looks great in red.
And we'll get into Caleb Williams, both what has been going on with his dad came out early this week, and then we're going to talk about USC, the Cardinals, and obviously we're going to talk about we're an anti-Texan show here, Ben. We hate the Texans because we want to see the Cardinals get the number 2 pick. Another big game. We got to talk about it. Colorado, number 22 Colorado against Nebraska right now. The line, it was at 3. Right before kickoff, it changed to -2.5. Colorado's favored. But, Ben, they've got the lead, 13-0, about to kick a field goal here. It's the third quarter. And what's impressed you most, I'm not only about this game with Colorado, but what they did last week with Dion and a packed stadium over there in Folsom, Colorado.
You and I texted about this, and we were talking about Colorado, and you kind of seemed like I was a little bit more pessimistic on Colorado, and that was just not it. I just thought the hype was too much for Colorado, what they were doing. It was awesome. They went to TCU. You and I both agreed TCU a little overrated, probably should have been ranked as high as they were.
Yeah.
I was a little bit more down on Colorado. And one of the things I said on my show earlier this week, the Ben Garcia show on YouTube, shameless plug, is
hey, you deserve it. You're on the show. You deserve a plug. You deserve a plug.
One thing that I said about Matt Rule in Nebraska was they're going to expose the trenches, because Colorado couldn't stop a nosebleed on defense last week, especially rushing. TCU averaged 7.1 yards per carry. I thought Nebraska would do that, but man, I'm starting to really eat my words about Colorado. I still don't think they're going to be the Pac-12 champions. I'm not getting too high on my horse there. But what they're doing, I mean, could this be a 7-8 win team?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to wonder. Their first opening Pac-12 test is on the road at Oregon. So when you look at that game, both teams could be undefeated heading into that game. Spoiler alert, I'm going to say it, College Game Day is going to be there, because Big Noon Kickoff being there for Colorado twice, ESPN's going to want to get some Colorado love as well. But, Ben, you're on the nose about it. The offensive line for Colorado has struggled today so far. 5 sacks by Nebraska here in the first half and 3 minutes into the third quarter. The trenches are one thing, but I just think for Colorado, they've got so much talent, and it's the surprises of Travis Hunter playing both ways is the biggest thing here. Playing 140 snaps at the two most exhausting positions in football, wide receiver and defensive back, is quite impressive. And this is a guy, I mean, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, whether he decides to, go to the draft this year, which people are now, after one game, projecting him top 10 pick in this upcoming draft, or he could stay one more year with his dad and maybe even potentially be the one pick. Him and Travis Hunter could be the top 2 picks in the 2025 draft.
I don't think that there's any historical reference for that. I'm pretty sure that'd probably be the first time that had ever happened.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that. But let me ask you this. Let's stick on Travis Hunter for a second.
Down.
Because I'm very fine with saying this. You know more about college football than I do. I probably struggle a little bit more than you do with it. I'm more on the NFL side with a lot of this stuff.
Of course.
So let me ask you this, because I don't think it's sustainable. Is Travis Hunter playing both ways sustainable?
That's a good question, Ben. I mean, they talked to him before the game. They said, how did you feel after that game? He said he was exhausted. He was in the cold tub, hot tub for 30 minutes. You do wonder about that right now. Yes, it looks like he can do it. But when you play those teams like Oregon with those fast receivers on the outside, USC with Mario Williams, with Dorian Singer on the outside, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for him. I think that's when you're gonna see the great out of Travis Hunter. And not only is it sustainable, but then you play into the injury factor. And I hate bringing up injuries to people, but when you play 140 snaps a game, 150 snaps, it's gonna be wear and tear on your legs.
It shoots up. It shoots up. That's
100%.
the percentage of you getting injured If you're out there more, it's going to shoot up. It's not wishing an injury. It's not thinking that there's going to be an injury. It's the possibility that you have to put out there. Travis Hunter is probably more susceptible to injuries because he's out there longer. And this is kind of the way I see it with Colorado. You and I have talked about this. It's a lot of new transfers. Do that. I think for Colorado right now, they're kind of throwing out there, we're going to get 12 plays off. I'm sorry, we're going to get a playoff every 12, every 15 seconds, every 20 seconds. We're going to fast-pace offense. We're going to gas you off the field because we're still trying to get this cohesive team together. And for Travis Hunter, you're trying to put your best players on the field. So I totally get Travis Hunter playing every snap for now. Is it sustainable? Would I like to see his snaps come down later in the season? I would like to see that, and I think it will. But for now, I get it with Colorado. I think that's what they should do. Put your best players on the field until later on in the season when everyone's more so on the same page and Travis Hunter can scale it back a bit. Because I'm with you. It's just not sustainable for a full season.
Yeah, and then you wonder next year how many people they bring in. Do they kind of limit him, say, hey, maybe you just play receiver, maybe corner? But what Deion's been saying, he has no plans on changing what Travis Hunter's doing. And they're currently up 13-0. Nebraska's got the ball on their own 43-yard line. And then another game, kind of a shocker to people, including myself, with how we saw 12 Utah at Florida last week and how we saw Baylor losing to Texas State last week. Folks out there, Utah was favored by 6.5 points. They're currently down by 7. Baylor's up 10-3, third and goal on Utah's 7. So right there, either going to be 3 points or a touchdown for Baylor. That's kind of a shocker. Utah not having their starting quarterback, but this Baylor team bouncing back after losing to Texas State.
Yeah, Utah. It's so strange.
They're always gritty, man. They're just gritty. They've got a good defense and Kyle Whittingham at the helm. They're going to be in games.
Yeah, they're never going to be the team that's going to have, 5 players in the first round, a Georgia and Alabama type. But it's so weird how they get it going every single year to be that team that's either in the Pac-12 championship game, winning the Pac-12 championship. They're right now the defenders of that. And it's just, it's weird to me because you see them come out and dominate a team in which I really like. I have a lot of love for in the Florida Gators. Dominate them with the backup quarterback. Then come out in Baylor and just lay an egg. It's very strange. I would love to hear why you would think this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, on the road, always a tough place to play for especially Utah. But again, I think they come back here. They've got a new quarterback we saw last week in Bryson Barnes. And with that being said, Nebraska just scored a touchdown there. 57-yard run from Nebraska's quarterback, Jeff Sims. So now the score is 13-7. We'll keep you updated on the game as well as the other college football games, too, along the program. But, as always, we've got to go to our guy in the booth with the football, not the American football, but the European soccer. He's 14-2, Ben, on his picks. Coming off of a win last week. Ryan, who do you like in your pick either this weekend or this next week in soccer?
I feel like the more you mention my record, the more likely it is I'm going to lose.
Yeah, that's my fault. I apologize.
What goes around comes around kind of thing. But I'm sticking with Inter Miami. You know, I've been hot on Inter Miami. EPL is on international break, so there's no Premier League games going on. So we're flipping back to the U.S. MLS. Messi isn't playing for Inter Miami this week, so they do have a little bit boosted odds. They're at like plus 110, plus 115 last time I checked. But they still do have their stars in Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and I think they beat Sporting Kansas City this week. They play later on today, actually.
So Miami beats Kansas City is what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
Money line there for Miami.
Money line.
Love that for Ryan. Well, coming up, guys, folks out there, Thursday Night Football happened, the Chiefs and Lions. We're going to give you our thoughts about the Chiefs and Lions and maybe some updated odds. Did the Lions odds go up? Did the Chiefs odds go down? What do we think about both teams, as well as maybe some of our early top games to watch for the NFL Sunday? And then at 11:30, Marco D'Angelo will be making his 2 picks, the games of the week. Texas at Alabama and the Cardinals at Commanders. All of that and more on Take the Points here on 10.
All clear.
Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. The NFL is back. First, it's Herbert versus Tua when the Chargers host the Dolphins. Then the Dallas Cowboys host the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. Tomorrow at 12:45 on Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while.
Can you guys turn Ben up, please?
Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota,
Yes.
head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right
I'm good.
price,
How are you?
Right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Single game and mini plan options are available to watch the Sun Devils take on Oklahoma State. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Be there, be loud, and wear black.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Just mix a packet of Eucora with water and drink it when you need support, like right after intimacy. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One.
Here we go.
Your wallet.
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports.
And you're live.
Back, Take the Points, Fox Sports 910. Appreciate you joining us and taking some time here. We are at the lovely CAZ Sports Bar. Come on out, get a drink, get a bite to eat, and watch some college football. They've got about 30 flat screen TVs with all the possible games you could imagine. And if you don't like the game in front of you, just politely ask one of the workers here, and they will put any game you want on. And what I love about this place, Ben, is there's a live sports books with live odds that you can just bet. So if you want to sit here and say, you know what, I think Utah is going to come back down 10 here, you could walk all the way over to the kiosk or even the people over there and place your bets.
Isn't this the same place that you guys saw Charles Barkley putting down?
Yes, we actually did. Yeah, it was funny. We were doing the show here, and it was the night after on Inside the NBA where Charles Barkley talked about how he thought the Kings were going to beat the Warriors.
Oh, yeah?
And he lives in Phoenix, and, he's got so much money, he can just private jet back and forth because he doesn't want to live in Atlanta where TNT is at. And he literally walks in, and I kind of I had to blink twice and kind of rub my eyes because I didn't believe him. Massive dude, walks back out. We say, hey, what'd you put your money on? Did you put your money on the Lakers? And he said, no, I put my money where my mouth was. Kings in 5 or Kings in 6, whatever he said. That bet did not obviously hit because the Warriors won.
Did he hit you with the guarantee?
I wish. I should have asked him there, honestly. But, Ben, we had football on Thursday. Chiefs, Lions. The spread was all over the place. I mean, last week when we talked on the show, it was at 6.5, 7. Then Travis Kelce, I believe it was on Wednesday, or I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday, he hyperextends his knee. When have we ever seen a tight end with this much impact? It drops to 5.5. And then it comes out right before the game that he's not going to play. It drops to 3.5. Maybe even some sportsbooks had it at 2.5. When have we ever seen a tight end do that?
It's insane to me because you normally see those kind of points get shaved or added, whether a quarterback's going to play, a star edge rusher, a really, really elite wide receiver, Justin Jefferson type guys.
Yeah.
But then you have Travis Kelce, who's essentially a wide receiver one, if you're talking in fantasy terms, probably a top 10 pass catcher in the NFL. You see those kind of lines change, and that was the biggest thing to me that was a little strange. I was like, wow, it dropped that far for a wide receiver. I mean, it dropped quarterback like number wise. It was insane to me.
Yeah, so the Chiefs ended up losing that game. The Lions won on Thursday night, and the odds have changed for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll get to your opinion, Ben, about this game, but the Chiefs' odds to win the Super Bowl dropped from 700 plus 700 to now plus 600. So 100 change there for the Chiefs. And for the Lions, their odds have boosted down from plus 2,200 or from plus 2,200 to win it all to now plus 1,650. So big changes on both sides. But Ben, when you looked at this game, Lions Chiefs, what was the biggest thing that stood out to you?
You know, I think the biggest thing is what stood out to me is the Kansas City Chiefs are going to pull back this year. You look at and that doesn't mean when you say things like they're going to pull back, you're like, oh, you're picking them to miss the playoffs. No, the Kansas City Chiefs went 13-4 last year, and I said this earlier this week. They're closer to 10-7 than they are a 13-4 team. Their wide receivers are not very good. You got a loser in Kadarius Toney who goes off on fans on Twitter, then doesn't take accountability for what he did. Just a loser. Comes out, absolutely craps the bed, pukes all over himself when it really matters. People have bad games. I don't mean to harp on the guy. I just don't really like him as a person either. The Chiefs' wide receiving corps, not great. It wasn't even the tight end position that didn't contribute for them. Noah Gray had a good game, but guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Rashee Rice, he's a rookie. You can't stay and lean on him. You can't lean on Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Their defense without Chris Jones, it played well, but that's probably as well as it's going to play all year. Week 1 at home, the conditions are going to favor them more. The Kansas City Chiefs, this is a team that a lot of people are picking to repeat, continue to do well. I expect them to pull back this year.
And then on the other side, the Lions. I mean, Dan Campbell, the balls this guy has to go for a fake punt on your own 17-yard line. And kudos to Jared Goff. 9 plays, led him to a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, first touchdown in the game. I mean, from the Lions side of it, they've got a lot of moving pieces. They got a lot of guys coming in. C.J. Gardner-Johnson on defense, and Alex Anzalone on the defensive side of the ball. But I was impressed with both Montgomery and Gibbs. I expect Gibbs to get more carries, later on in his career and the season. But on the Chiefs side, for me, it kind of emphasized, without Kelce, this offense is so average. Besides Mahomes, like skill position wise, this team is so average.
Well, you got guys like Isaiah Pacheco that, he runs like he's mad at the ground, or Jerick McKinnon, who's not on the right side of a running back's age. It's not great. Let me harp on the Lions really quickly because I just want to ask you this question: Where we saw the line of what was it, 1650 now? How do you feel about the Lions? Is this a team that you're picking to win their division? Is this a team that you're picking to go throughout the playoffs and win a couple of games? Is this a team you're picking to go to the Super Bowl? I can't figure out the Lions because every time that we try to to really harp in on them and we put expectations on them, they fall short. So I'm curious to know your idea
so they're
of it.
plus 100 to win the division. I'm going to pick them to win it. I think, with the Bears, with question marks there, I'm interested to see the Bears-Packers game with the Bears. They've added some guys. Can Fields break through in his third year, which is crazy to think that he's about to be in his third year in the NFL. And then you got the other side, the Packers, Jordan Love. What are we going to see from Jordan Love? All right, we've heard stuff. We've heard Matt LaFleur finally get his guy when he drafted him. It's been like 3 or 4 years that he's been there too. So I got the Lions to win it. I'm not really sold on them to, go to the NFC Championship and win the NFC yet. Still got to see the Eagles. Again, it's week 1 there. But a long season for the Lions. And I think they're going to win the division. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Because the Lions, it's like I said before, every time we put expectations on the Lions, they're the lovable loser. They're the Chicago Cubs of the NFL. The lovable losers who every time we put expectations on them, we all collectively feel bad. No one harps on them. No one shames them. But it's just so strange to me because you have a team with a lot of weapons. The defense is better. They spent a first-round pick on a running back. They spent a first-round pick on a safety. Like, they got the help that they needed to get. But what I want to harp on, and I'll ask you this too. Dumped by Sean McVay and the Rams. He was let go. He was seen as they got 2 first-round picks out of Goff. So that's pretty awesome. So I guess I'm curious to see where are you at on this guy?
Well, I mean, we know what's crazy is he was the first overall pick, obviously him and Carson Wentz, and he struggled with the Rams, and Carson Wentz had an MVP season with the Eagles. So it's kind of funny to see now we're in a time where Goff is still in the league starting, and Wentz is sitting on the bench watching from home. Goff, yes, he had an average game. I think he's one of those guys. He's not going to win you. I don't know if he's going to win you a championship or set you over the edge. But he's a smart guy. He's going to put the ball where it's needed. He's just overall just a smart guy. He's a good passer, and he fits the system. I think that's one thing, too, that people got to emphasize, people at home, is fit in the NFL is everything. Trey Lance did not fit with the 49ers. He's gone.
No.
I mean, Kyler Murray, we'll see what he does with Gannon, but him and Cliff did not fit together. So I think fit-wise, he fits what Dan Campbell wants, and Dan Campbell kind of wants that, just that grit guy at quarterback. Doesn't matter. He doesn't want the flashy dude, the guy that's going to run around. But I think with their offense and being sound up front offensively on the offensive defensive side of the ball and wanting to run the football, I think he fits the mold there.
Jared Goff, and I'll be somewhat quick with this because I understand we got to get going here in a second, but Jared Goff, when people say underrated, they'll be like, Dak Prescott's underrated. No, you don't understand what underrated means. Underrated means that no one believes in this guy. No one's talking about him. No one's going to give the reason why he's going to help win them multiple games, make it to the playoffs. Jared Goff fits the definition of being an underrated quarterback. I'll admit, I was one of those people that said, the Rams got way better getting rid of Jared Goff. And what has he done? He's taking care of the football. He's closing in on the record of consecutive passes without an interception. Jared Goff, he threw 324 passes since the last interception against the Packers. He has to throw 35 more passes without an interception on Thursday night's win over the Chiefs. That gives him 359 consecutive passes without an interception. The all-time record belongs to Aaron Rodgers, who threw 402 passes. He only has to complete 44 more passes to be the record holder for most passes without an interception. Jared Goff is incredibly underrated. As Cardinal fans, we've seen him tear the Cardinals apart for years. He's someone that is under the radar. He's not selfish. He doesn't take a lot of money. He's probably in the mid-tiers of quarterbacks who get paid, how much money they get paid. Jared Goff is an incredibly underrated talent, and we're going to see this year what he can do with capable offensive weapons, a good offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. Jared Goff is going to shock a lot of people this year, and you know what? I'm happy for Detroit. Good for Detroit. Good for Jared Goff, and good for the Lions organization.
Well, Ben, you're happy for Detroit. Well, I'm happy we're having on our special guest, Marco D'Angelo from Wager Talk. He is next to cash some tickets and hopefully give some betting advice to you guys at home. He is next on Fox Sports 910.
Take
All
the
clear.
Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas.
She says that too, so I don't know what you're trying to say.
Restaurant in all 7 locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito.
I'm calling Marco real quick.
Of game day.
Time for a new big screen TV, Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and
Wait, which Marco number do I?
Shareholders to deliver profits. They have teams of investigators, adjusters, and lawyers all working against you from the moment you call them, and they want to pay you as little as possible for your injuries. Hurt in a wreck? Don't be a victim of the insurance companies. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Escape the scorching heat and get indoors at Putting World's 18-hole putting experience. Stay cool while mastering the greens and having a blast.
Well, now Marco wants me to call him back on the other number, so thanks.
Today.
Today's news requires more.
Marco wanted me to call on the other number.
And more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio?
Marco is on the line.
Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
Here we go.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
No, I couldn't find it.
Exclusively on Fox Sports.
Here we go.
910.
You're live.
Welcome back, Fox Sports 910, and we are pleased to join on for another season of both college football and NFL betting. Our man from Wager Talk, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of sports betting and gambling. Marco D'Angelo from Wager Talk joins us here on Take the Points. Marco! I had to do both, Marco, because Mike and Mike are not here. I don't think I did a great job there, but Marco, how are you doing on the Saturday?
I'm doing good. College football in full swing, but you know what we're here about. NFL football.
100%.
Everybody's excited. Well, I mean, I'm not sure about in Arizona if we're excited about it, but across the country, we're excited for the new season.
100%, Marco. Let's start out with college, and then we'll have our fine fill-in host here, Ben Garcia, talk about that Cardinals team. But you've got 11 Texas on the road at 3 Alabama, and right now Alabama is favored from what I've seen by 7. Who do you like in this matchup, and what kind of sticks out to you with the Longhorns and the Crimson Tide?
Well, this game is set at 7 all week. We haven't seen any movement off the number here, so we're getting some two-way action on this game here in Vegas. But everybody remembers last year. I mean, Texas had Alabama on the ropes. They almost pulled off the upset as a 21-point underdog, just losing 20-19. The Alabama defense in that game took the run away from Texas. Texas was only able to rush for 79 yards on 33 carries. But in that game, one of the things that benefited Texas, and maybe it was a little bit of the home cooking, they had Alabama was called for 15 penalties in that game that amounted to 100 yards of penalties, where Texas was only flagged 5 times for 30 yards. That was one of the keys that kept Texas in that game. Now you look at this year in the matchup, and if you go back to last year, one more thing, Alabama did dominate the line of scrimmage. They did rush for 161 yards on just 24 carries. Going into this year, Saban's going to have them better prepared for Texas. This is week 2 of the season. I can tell you for a fact that Alabama probably spent more time in the summer prepping for this week 2 game than they did for prepping for their season opener against Middle Tennessee State last week. And here's a little stat with Coach Saban. Since he's been at Alabama, in weeks 1 and 2 of the football season, he is 19-9 against the spread in the first 2 weeks. Why is that? Well, we know how good Coach Saban's record is in bowl games. Why is he good in bowl games? Well, he's got a month to prepare, and he generally outcoaches the other coach with a game plan. When you're in the first 2 games of the season, you're spending all summer preparing for those games, especially the key one, which in this instance wasn't Middle Tennessee State, it's Texas. I'm going to go ahead and lay the points here with Alabama, lay the 7. My numbers have it Alabama winning 34-23, so let's go ahead and roll Tide.
Wow. All right, Marco, before we get into the Cardinals game, I just wanted to say something. A little bit of surreal moment. I've been listening to you, Marco D'Angelo. My name is Benjamin Garcia. For a long time, whether it was on the Colin Cowherd show that you would go on Wager Talk, seeing your stuff, I will just attest this guy is the man. Going on forward, we have the Cardinals and the Commanders. Cardinals are major underdogs, +7 against the Washington Commanders. Marco D'Angelo, break it down for us. What are you seeing for this game? Where are you laying with the points? Go ahead and break it down for us.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this game is, let's be honest, as ugly as this game is, because we know what's going on in Arizona, and we've got a Washington team that's starting a quarterback that's made 1 start in his career. So you would think this game wouldn't have much interest as far as at the betting windows. But I can tell you that this is going to be one of the more watched games for different reasons. Here in Las Vegas, you guys may know there's a huge survivor contest at one of the casinos. It's they advertise everywhere. People fly in to enter the contest because you don't have to live here to play in a contest. You just have to sign up, and then you can use a proxy service. I can tell you that a lot of people are going to have the Washington Commanders as their survivor pick this week. Now, normally you would look at the schedule and say, well, the most heavily played game in a survivor pool where you're just having to pick the winner would be Baltimore this week. But you also have to use game theory because you can only use a particular team once throughout the course of the season. And it's an 18-week season, and there's 32 teams. So you don't want to get stuck later in the season having to use a bad team. So a lot of people are going to look at this matchup with Washington, and with the perception that Arizona is tanking this year, they're going to take Washington in this game. That's a game theory move to get, a mediocre team out of the way and try to advance in Survivor. So there's going to be a lot of interest there. I do a lot of radio shows in town here, and we interview different sportsbook directors. Everybody I've talked to said they're going to have a ton of liability on Washington because a lot of people will be using Washington in money line parlays. A money line is where you're not laying the point spread. You just have to pick the winner. Generally, you have to lay more money to do that, especially the bigger the point spread is, but people will tie them up in a lot of parlays. So they're going to have exposure there, and they're going to have exposure with a wager that is called a teaser, where you get to move the point spread 6 points up or down, either way you want to do it. Well, if you can move it down 6 points, you get Washington at -1. You're asking them just to win. So there will be a lot of action on this game. Now, as far as the straight play, you're going to take the points or you're going to lay them. Here's a couple things you got to look at. We know the situation. Joshua Dobbs has been there for basically a month. Okay, he's not going to have the full grasp of the playbook. This is going to be a situation where it's going to be limited for them. I don't see the offense moving well. You go back to last year, Dobbs had to play in a situation like this at the end of the season for Tennessee when they needed the game to make the playoffs. He played well, one mistake in that game, but he 16. He's a guy that generally is not going to shoot himself in the foot. So I don't expect the offense to try anything fancy. It'll be pretty straight and narrow. Now you flip it around to the Washington side. They're a good defensive team. That we know. But the question marks are on the offense. They went out and got a new offensive coordinator, Eric Benamy. This is a spot where they're going to have growing pains. I don't see them going up and down the football field. And here's a little stat for you. Dogs of 7 or more in the opening week of the NFL season has gone 38-31 the last 69 games. 38-31. So they have shown a profit with that. And here's a stat that's going to make you not want to take Washington. They are just 3-15 against the spread as a favorite of 6 or more points the last 18 times that they've been in this role. Now, granted, they haven't been in this role a lot lately because Washington's not been that good. With all of that said, my numbers have Washington winning by 7, which puts them right on the point spread. So we're going to have a cop-out there. But I'm going to give you my predicted final score. 20-13. The total's 38. I'm taking under 38 in the Arizona-Washington game as I look for this to be a low-scoring game.
Marco D'Angelo there, Cardinals, Commanders. He is going with a push in the under 38 there. Marco, we appreciate you coming on. My last question, because you mentioned that you were excited for the NFL. We're not going to ask you for another pick. Obviously, if you want another pick from Marco, go on to Wager Talk or follow him at Marco in Vegas. But which game is your number one game that you're looking forward to watching this weekend?
Well, as far as watching, me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm excited about that game. But I know you guys always love when I drop a big stat on you. So I'm going to give you the big stat play of the week. And the Super Bowl loser from the previous season, if they open up week 1 on the road, since 1990, if they've been on the road in week 1, they are just 2-15 against the spread. That means take the New England Patriots plus the points on Sunday.
Wow. And he's had a whole offseason to prepare for Jalen Hurts there too. But we appreciate you, Marco, as always. Thanks so much for joining us. And let's run it back on Saturday and do it again.
All right, guys. And you know the drill. Let's cash some tickets.
Let's cash some tickets.
Appreciate it, Marco.
Marco D'Angelo, you can follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. Some good stuff there. Not leaning towards the spread there, Ben, but going with the under for the Arizona Cardinals Commanders game.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me too much. I mean, if any points are coming, it's probably going to come for the Commanders side. If anything is really going to skew that, maybe a defensive score, maybe something out of the ordinary happening, a special team score. It's just that doesn't. I mean, man, 38 points. It feels like a lot until you start to add some totals together, but not necessarily something that really surprised me. How about yourself?
Speaking of Cardinals, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of question marks for the Commanders. I mean, what is Sam Howell going to bring to this offense with Eric Bieniemy? We've seen some rumors of not a lot of players liking the way how Eric Bieniemy's coached, even though this guy's got a good resume there. But, I mean, we'll see. We're also going to have, folks, at 12:05, speaking of Cardinals, Go PHNX, the PHNX Cardinals podcast co-host, Johnny Venerable will be joining us at 12:05 to talk Arizona Cardinals. He's a sports betting man too, but we'll see where he's favoring on this matchup as well. But without further ado, we're going to head to another break. On the other side, we're going to talk Diamondbacks because, yes, football is the attention, but the Diamondbacks are trying to make a late push, Ben, to the wild card. Can they do it? We'll tell you next on Fox Sports 910. This is Take
All clear. Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
The quarterback can't do anything if the offensive line isn't decent. You like a nice running game. You need receivers to catch the ball. Like, they're all dependent positions. I just think, Rob, the gap between what the quarterbacks make and what everybody else makes is out of whack.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Monday at 4 on your smart speaker. Say play Fox Sports 910.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Join Rockin' Minute with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
With every other attorney out there claiming to be the right attorney for you, it's time we look at the facts. Lerner & Rowe has helped over 150,000 injured people receive compensation for their injuries. We've recovered billions of dollars, with over $1 billion recovered in the last 5 years alone. We have over 50 attorneys and over 400 legal professionals and their resources to fight for you. The reality is, there's Lerner & Rowe, then there's everybody else. In a wreck, need a check?
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minute with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise.
I'm calculating right now, just so we can hit the ID right at the top of the hour.
Arizona.
Hi, this is Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We started in 1998 with our original store in Tempe. Fast forward to 2023 with 6 stores across the valley. We've had a lot of fun along the way, including our pizza eating challenge and our appearance on the show Breaking Bad. Thank you to our employees and customers for 25 fantastic years. We have never changed our core ingredients or recipes, and every pizza is made by hand. I'm a proud 1998 ASU alum and the official pizza partner of ASU Athletics. Learn more about our story at venezias.com.
Jenny!
Hey, Jenny!
Jenny, come on in! Steve!
Hey, Steve!
Steve! How you doing?
Meg!
Meg, nice to see you! Hey, Meg!
Arena Sports Grill. Come on out for the sports.
So we're out of here at 56:30.
Faces, the best daily specials in Scottsdale. Arena Sports Grills, 62nd Street in Bell.
1 minute.
Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? That is absolutely insane, right? Well, good thing that's over. The NFL is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 bonus bets instantly. You bet just $5 any NFL game. Now, DraftKings is also hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check the app to see what you're going to get. Download now and use code 910 to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5 That's code 910 only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC
Chill vibes.
Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
And you're live.
Welcome back, Fox Sports 910. This is Take the Points, the only sports betting show in Arizona. You're joined by Jackson Groff and filling in Benjamin Garcia at Garcia Talks on Twitter at Are you Benjamin Garcia?
You know, it's funny. The other day, I had someone tell me the same thing. They were like, I'm sorry, are you? Been my user tag on Instagram. I am Benjamin Garcia for so long. It is since like high school. I thought it was cool because it was like iPhone. So I was following that. There's the really boring story about my username on Instagram.
Right on. Well, a game that's not boring right now. The Arizona Diamondbacks at the Chicago Cubs, tied 0-0, bottom of the second inning. And this D-backs team, just a couple games left in the season. They're trying to get that wild card spot. They're second in the NL right now, NL West, excuse me. But I'm going to throw it to you, Ben. Do you think this team can make the wild card?
I mean, the Diamondbacks should absolutely make the playoffs, especially after the season they had. And people will say things like, well, it's early. Like, imagine, would you have said this at the beginning of the season? If they were 74-68, you'd just be happy. Your expectations are changing. And to that, I would say, yeah, absolutely they're changing. If you show me more, it's like anything. If you're a good employee, my expectations are going to expect for you to be a good employee all the time. If you're a crappy employee, I'm going to expect you to be a crappy employee all the time. Expectations change, and they have for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Should they make the playoffs? Yes. Will they? It's such an up and down team where every time I say yes, I think no, and every time I think no, I think yes.
So they've won 4 of their last 5 games. They've got today and tomorrow at Chicago to wrap up the series there. They struggled at one point. August and July-ish was kind of a rough time for them. What have you seen from this Diamondbacks team that's completely flipped the switch to get them back in contention?
Well, you had mentioned August. It was one of those months where it was just abysmal. It's baseball. It happens. But what we really learned from that is the Diamondbacks are somewhere between an average to an above average team. They're not one of those elite teams. There's a certain way they have to beat you, whether it's with speed, turning singles into doubles, doubles into triples, triples into home runs, basically. There are a lot of making sure a lot of pop in the bat, the Diamondbacks stealing bases. Like, there's a formula for them to win. You see that in August they played a lot of those teams that were really good, and then it shows. The Diamondbacks' record against teams above 500 is 34-46. They played a lot of those teams above 500 in August, and it wasn't great. They were kind of exposed, but now the schedule's getting a little easier, and they're in the last wild card spot right now by a half a game. They're gaining on the Cubs, beating them twice in a row. They are trailing them for the second wild card spot. So you see the Diamondbacks, they're making improvements. I believe they will make it, but man, it just changes day by day.
20 games left in the season, and we talk about, the win totals and the expectations for this Diamondbacks team. Well, they've got 74 wins right now. Their preseason win total projection, 75.5. So if you had the over there, you're smiling from ear to ear over there, Ben. But they got 20 games left. What does this team need to continue to do to secure that spot and to get back in contention in the NL?
They just, and I'm stealing from the drive from Jody Ayler. Jody Ayler, the host there. I like to give people credit when I take their things. But he said it best. If the Diamondbacks just play 500 baseball from here on out, which means, 20 games left, 10-10, the Diamondbacks are going to make the playoffs. Because that's really all you need to do in the NL is you just got to play 500 baseball. The biggest thing, and everyone knows this if you've watched any baseball for the Diamondbacks this year, is the bullpen going to be sustainable for them to be able to make it to the playoffs? And right now, it's been fine, but that changes on a dime just like that.
Yeah, and Kelly is on the mound right now, 0-0 still at the the bottom of the second inning there for the D-backs and the Cubs. Real quickly before we go to break, let's give you a little score update on these college football games. And for those out there that bet on Nebraska, yikes, because Colorado is up 29-7. 29-7 in the fourth quarter, Ben, against Nebraska. This team 2-0. They were projected before the season 3.5 over/under win totals, and right now 2 wins. They could potentially, if they close this one out, Shedeur Sanders 338 yards, 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is. Matt Rule sucks.
Matt Rule
sucks. Matt Rule, he was the guy I defended in Carolina. Never got a quarterback.
I'm gonna slow you down there, but I'm gonna slow you down. All right. Well, I understand we compared Deion Sanders first year, Matt Rule first year. Let's take a break. Nebraska is going to be a process for a couple years. The hype with Colorado right now, what they're doing is unbelievable. They're way ahead of expectations, but I don't think people thought Nebraska was going to be a Colorado team like this in their first couple games. So we got to slow down on Matt Rule, but continue.
Well, no, you had said, this is going to be basically a slow cook for Nebraska. Well, it's good because it's been cooking since 1997 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers was the last time that they were really relevant. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of Nebraska fans, especially in Arizona, a lot of that Midwest coming to Arizona. But, sheesh, Matt Rule, you got to have your team up to – here's my thing. They lose this game, that's fine. Matt Rule as a coach needs to get his team up to the challenge of, hey, you're going into Colorado, big noon kickoff. You need to be able to come in and just be competitive. This isn't even competitive. This is like you and I running routes, me jumping over you and catching the ball on you.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't happen. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye out on the college football games there on the other side. We'll keep you updated. But next, coming up, we're going to have Johnny Venerable from PHNX Cardinals podcast. They're trending. They're the number 1 podcast locally for the Arizona Cardinals. I love watching their stuff. Always 5 days a week. Him and Bo Brock do a great job there. He's going to break down the Arizona Cardinals for us on the other side. We're going to maybe talk some Caleb Williams talk with him and his dad. What does he think about Caleb Williams? Is he going to stay at USC? He's going to go? What does he think about the Arizona Cardinals? And, oh, yeah, that's right. Cliff Kingsbury, remember him?
1 minute.
He's offensive assistant at USC.
Yeah.
What kind of influence does he have on Caleb Williams? And then obviously we're going to give his thoughts on the Cardinals Commanders too. All of that and more. This is Take the Points. Ben Garcia, Jackson Groff. 1 hour in the books, 1 hour coming up on Fox Sports 910.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Reduce traffic congestion and ozone-causing emissions by teleworking. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Packing for your summer road trip? Leave the travel guide at home and bring the Autio app along for the ride. Audio brings any drive to life with fascinating stories about the places you go.
Okay, sounds good.
Curated by expert storytellers.
Let me see for you. Probably like 12:02.
Fascinating location-based tales to inspire your travel itinerary and discover unique destinations along the way.
Yeah, 12:02.
Wherever summer takes you, make your next drive an adventure with Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks,
you need to learn
we
Spanish.
have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Download Babbel
From 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix.
That commercial was for you.
Phoenix, an iHeart radio station.
You're live. Yeah, I was joking, obviously. I did find the Casey open, though. Calling him now. We got him.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
He needs my glasses.
Morning for our weekend with a forecast high of 113 degrees on our Saturday and a mostly sunny sky. Then overnight falling to a low of 87.
Coming back in 30 seconds.
Sunday. In the afternoon, though, back up to 112, mostly sunny and a bit breezy. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm meteorologist Crystal Ortiz.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone.
So for the
they've got battery
lock, for the NFL lock, can I do a player prop?
Free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's
I found the Casey one, yeah.
America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now, take the Points on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hour number 2 of Take the Points on Fox Sports 910. We are here live at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. College football everywhere. We've got Colorado beating Nebraska. We've got Youngstown State not even playing well at all against Ohio State, getting absolutely plummeted. We've got Baylor, possible upset alert against Utah, but we're not here to talk college football. We're here to talk Arizona Cardinals because the man from PHNX Cardinals podcast, you can follow him on Twitter at Johnny Venerable, is joining us here on Take the Points to talk Arizona Cardinals. Johnny, football is back. How thrilled are you, and how is your Saturday going?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Yeah, it's exciting. It's snuck up on us, yet it is here all the same, and plenty to talk about with the Arizona Cardinals in 2023 on and off the field.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. We've got to start out with the quarterback position. Josh Dobbs, it hasn't been official by the Cardinals, I guess. They haven't released, but we expect him to start. What are you looking for? What are your expectations for Joshua Dobbs, who was, traded a couple weeks ago, making his first start for the Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, it's a move that we had sourced back in March on our show that they were interested in Joshua Dobbs and couldn't agree on the finances. And so opted to roll with Colt McCoy, and that obviously was a mistake. The Colts
didn't have much left in the tank, and his body failed him, physically over the course of training camp in the preseason. So they did the right thing, and they went out and they acquired Joshua Dobbs from the Cleveland Browns. CTR in Cleveland made Dobbs expendable and available for the Cardinals. And while I think that he's going to be, let's just call it a solid bridge to Kyler Murray, going to have some bumps, I would imagine, against the Ron Rivera defense on the road. They're going to have probably 15 to 20 plays scripted to open up the game, try to get him on the move, play action, maybe to boot him around. I could see a couple quarterback keeps, but, I think efficiency is going to be key. Can he complete 58 to 62% of his throws? Can he avoid that critical turnover? Can you get him a solid run game with James Conner and Deontay Ingram? That's going to be the key. But, I mean, this is a young man who's got some ability. He's still under 30 years old. He's got a big arm, got mobility. I think, again, they want to try to replicate what offensive coordinator Drew Petzing did last year in Cleveland with Jacoby Brissett, while they awaited Deshaun Watson to return from suspension. And I think they can get there. I'm just concerned, just 2 weeks under Dobbs' belt as it relates to the Cardinals, it's going to be a tall task to ask of him to go and win on the road tomorrow.
Yeah, Johnny, Benjamin Garcia here. So great to talk to you again, man. For me, maybe you're a little bit more optimistic than I am about the Arizona Cardinals. But here's what I would ask you. For me, for a lot of people, we're evaluating certain positions for the future. For me, I am really excited to watch Paris Johnson Jr. That's who I want to watch. That's the position group that I want to see. How do they deal with a really good defensive front, the offensive line? How do they hold up? Is there for you a certain player, a certain position group that you will be locked in on the entire game?
They're fortunate. It was announced this morning Chase Young is likely out, so that's somebody that Paris Johnson Jr. doesn't have to deal with. I do think that the offensive line could be a strength of this team if it stays intact. Now, their depth is taking a hit. Kelvin Beacham's going to be out with a hand injury. They traded away Josh Jones, so they are putting all their chips into the proverbial basket of the starting front five. But if they can stay healthy, I think it's a plus group. I mean, the position group I'm watching most closely is the wide receiver group, just because when you've got a quarterback that's coming in and he's inexperienced with this team, you need your receivers to be able to step up and elevate him, right? Like, can Rondell Moore take that next step in year 3? He's had a good training camp. Knock on wood, he's been healthy. Can Hollywood Brown, who's been questionable all week, although I think he plays, elevate his stock in the next offseason? He's on what is essentially a 1-year contract, trying to prove it to these new coaches. And then lastly, Michael Wilson, the rookie third-rounder out of Stanford, has earned a starting job alongside Hollywood Brown. Those are the 3 individuals that are going to need to separate and make plays in the secondary of Washington to help Joshua Dobbs. It's not fair to ask Joshua Dobbs to complete, 30 of 35 for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But can there be some separation from Hollywood Brown? Can he be that deep threat? Can Michael Wilson and Rondell Moore eat underneath for the Arizona Cardinals? That's what it's going to take, along with, a stable running game with James Conner, which I think they get. So who is going to elevate Joshua Dobbs from a receiving standpoint and help their quarterback? If I had to guess right now, I think Rondell Moore has a big day.
Rondell Moore. Prediction there from Johnny Venerable, who's made a ton of predictions, been right over there at PHNX Cardinals, at Johnny Venerable on Twitter. One another surprise is I want to talk to you about this cornerback room here. And Kytro Clark, the 6th-round pick rookie, is going to make his first start in the NFL over Antonio Hamilton and some other guys. What about him impresses you most, and what can Cardinals fans expect and be excited about from this young prospect?
Well, I think you should be excited, in one, because the Cardinals in general are leaning toward playing younger players. They're evaluating young players. They're not settling, their hopes and aspirations this year on old players and potentially losing with old players. And if there's a position group that I trust Jonathan Gannon with, it's defensive back. He's a defensive back savant. He took this kid, he plucked this kid out of Louisville. This was a JG pick all the way. He's a scrappy young man, about 5'10 and a half. So, I mean, he's not going to blow you away with athletic ability, but as a 6th-round pick, if they can just find a serviceable role for him, whether it's the outside corner position, whether it's nickel corner when Garrett Williams comes back off our injured reserve, their 3rd-rounder out of Syracuse, I think they've got a nice stable of defensive backs alongside, of course, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Marco Wilson, where you could see this group eventually getting better over the course of 17 games this year because they have an elite head coach, Jonathan Gannon, when coaching defensive backs. But Clark, to me, is going to be tested. This receiving core, you could argue, is the co-strength along with the defensive line for Washington. Johan Dotson is tremendous. Jerry McClellan, who's set to play. McLaurin is elite. Curtis Samuel is still there working the slot. So it's a tall task. And I do think that a lot's going to be asked of this group because of the way the pass rush is situated for the Cardinals. You know, Zaven Collins is learning the position on the fly. B.J. Ojulari, I don't think is ready to play meaningful snaps yet. Majay Sanders is out right now with a hand injury. So the pass rush may be limited, and so it puts extra incentive for guys like Clark and Marco Wilson to play well.
You know, Johnny, I'm curious for you if you think that this week is going to be a little bit more rocky. Week ones are already pretty rocky. But are you worried that they didn't have the starting quarterback on their roster that's probably going to play tomorrow in Josh Dobbs for the entire preseason? It almost feels like that they effectively gave up on the preseason, gave up on training camp, punted it because they were giving all the reps to Clayton Tune, to Colt McCoy, when in reality they were going to give it to Josh Dobbs all along. Do you think there's going to be a lot of turbulence tomorrow with that?
I think Josh Dobbs is going to look like a guy who has not been in the system for very long. I think he'll have some splash plays. Can he make the throws that are there to be made, open throws, telegraph throws? And it's been a while. Cliff Kingsbury's offense was not predicated on scheming up open throws. So for me, at the end of the day, I think Dobbs, if he can avoid the turnover and he can get you 1 to 2 touchdowns, that's a success. I do think the Cardinals are going to play better than people think. I think week one, you're playing with house money anyway. You look at a team like Chicago beating the Niners last year at Soldier Field. Weird stuff happens in week one, and I also think the inclement weather could play a factor. Wants to anoint him. He's got one career touchdown pass to his name, so I would argue Dobbs has proven more in this league than Sam Howell has.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's going to be a situation in which does Jonathan Gannon feel comfortable enough putting the ball in Dobbs' hand late in the fourth quarter to be able to make plays. I also think don't discount Gannon's familiarity with Washington, having coached against them each of the last 2 years while in Philadelphia. I know it's a different offense with Eric Bieniemy, but Gannon was very successful, albeit with Philadelphia's personnel, you know, holding them to under 20 points during his tenure as Eagles defensive coordinator. So this is not an environment that's going to overwhelm him. I was very impressed with Gannon's team. Pre-snap, minimal penalties, buttoned up during the preseason. I get it's only the preseason, but again, a stark contrast to what we saw from Cliff Kingsbury's team last year. So I think it's a one-possession game in the fourth quarter.
So you said one-possession game there, Johnny Venerable, and I watched the PHNX Cardinals podcast yesterday. You guys do a great job 5 days a week, and you've got the Cardinals winning 24-17. Johnny, why? What is the biggest factor, key to victory for you, for the Cardinals to kind of shock the world and beat the Commanders week one?
Yeah, I think all the pressure is on Washington. Everybody has written off this Cards team. They assume they're going to be terrible. 0-17, fired Jonathan Gannon before he's even coached a game. And then you lean on what Budda Baker said, you know, this past week is like, yeah, nobody really outside of this market, this area knows what's happening with this team. Everybody's just kind of guessing with lazy takes. Whereas, like, I mean, Washington, surface level, is, I think, a bad team, equally bad. And so if you think about Ron Rivera potentially going to be a one and done under new ownership, Eric Bieniemy's got a ton of pressure on him. Can he succeed without Patrick Mahomes? If this is a tight game in the third and fourth quarter, there's one team that's going to be feeling the pressure, and it's not Arizona. And I went and watched Joshua Dobbs last year in the finale. I watched the tape again last night. He looked pretty good against the Dallas Cowboys. His arm strength is evident. I've heard between, you know, sources that I trust, he's had a good week of practice. So if they can minimize their turnover, I think the Cardinals can run the ball effectively. With James Conner, who was the MVP of training camp, in my opinion. This is a game that could definitely go either way, but I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to what I think is going to be a better coach long-term in Jonathan Gannon.
Johnny, we saw this week Caleb Williams' father come out. Whether anyone wants to talk about the draft coming up, you guys are doing Tank Tuesdays. People are constantly simulating what the Cardinals will be at the end of the year. Caleb Williams' dad came out and said, you know what? Caleb might want to stay in school. I'm going to leave this pretty open-ended to you. What was your take on that? Do you think this has legs, or do you think people are just blowing smoke with Caleb Williams possibly wanting to stay another year at USC?
My take on it was disappointing, and to your second question, it definitely has legs. I think there's zero chance that he that he doesn't declare. He's coming out. I mean, you see Joe Burrow's getting almost $300 million. And I mean, the NIL money is nice. It's nothing compared to NFL money, especially for first overall pick money.
Yeah.
He's going to declare this spring. But could they make things difficult for the Bidwells? Absolutely. I do not think, I could have egg on my face, I don't think the Cardinals are going to have the number 1 pick. And if it does, maybe it comes from Houston. I think they win just enough games to be outside of that area. I think a team to watch is the LA Rams, who just put Cooper Kupp on PUP. Potentially he could not play this entire year.
Wow.
You tell me the LA Rams with their first round pick this year wouldn't tank for the local product. I think that sneaky is what could happen. The divisional games between the Cardinals and Rams are going to have a lot to say about what's going on with Caleb Williams. Getting to know Gannon and Austin Ford over these last 6 months, I don't think they're going to have an appetite to go and bag Caleb Williams to play for them. I think they're going to let the chips fall the way they may this year. They're going to speak with their actions on the field and with their assets in the offseason. And then somehow, if they do have the number 1 pick, they'll make it clear, like, hey, we like you, we'd like to select you. And if things go awry, then they'll keep their options open. But, I mean, I'm not a Drake May fan. I like Shadur Sanders more. We don't know if he's going to declare. There's some other quarterbacks that are intriguing. But I can tell you this. They're not going to get down on their hands and knees and beg a player and to come over and take over their franchise. You could make an argument. I love Kyler Murray. Part of the reason that we've had these hiccups in Kyler's first couple of years mostly is because of how poor he was supported, but also because he was not coached hard and there wasn't, a buy-in with Cliff Kingsbury and taking him seriously. I don't think they want to start off a new regime, a new era with Caleb coming here and having to beg he and his family to accept the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think they want that. And I don't think the league wants that, frankly. You see Joe Burrow go to Cincinnati, change their franchise. Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville, change their franchise. It's funny you bring this up. You've already seen kind of a turn with the Cardinal fan base who was supportive of Caleb kind of say, what's up with this guy? Can he not come here and change the culture? Do you want that guy as your franchise quarterback? Again, so much time. We have to hear it from Caleb. There are so many layers to this, but it's definitely not over. It's just beginning.
Yeah, and the NIL money is good, but does he want to take another year of school? I mean, who wants to go back to class again for another year there? But, Johnny, we appreciate the time as always and the insight. But real quick, tomorrow, game day for the Arizona Cardinals. For listeners and people watching online right now, what do you guys have planned for PHNX Cardinals, and where can they find your content for all day on tomorrow's game?
Yeah, your premier Arizona Cardinal pregame show starts at 9:30. Myself, Bo Brock, former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver Britton Golden will be live at 10 a.m.
Britton Golden.
9:30 at the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium. Yep, we'll have your pregame show taking you up to kickoff at 10 a.m. Then we will have your halftime show and your postgame show immediately following the game. You can find our content, of course, on YouTube, PHNX Sports, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, PHNX_Cardinals, as well as me at Johnny Venerable. We'll be peppering links and resources all throughout the day. But if you want to come out, hang out, cheer on the team when they're away, come out to BetMGM tomorrow.
Great stuff. And I can speak for myself and Ben. We'll definitely be tuned into those podcasts as well. Johnny, as always, appreciate the time. Thanks for joining. We look forward to talking to you in the future.
Take care, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Johnny Venerable, PHNX Cardinals podcast, host, reporter, does it all, joins us here on Take the Points. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the NFL Week 1 slate. Which games are we looking forward to? The top storylines, top bets that you should bet on or stay away from. All of that coming up next on Take the Point.
All clear. Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. The NFL is back. First, it's Herbert versus Tua when the Chargers host the Dolphins. Then the Dallas Cowboys host the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. Tomorrow at 12:45 on Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning.
Yeah. I have the KC in the system, the KC open, but I'll put the locks when you call for it.
Stop by to say hello. Stay a while.
So what will you say for the locks?
Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain.
What cues the locks?
We're your Casino, Arizona.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so,
yeah, I have that one.
Over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon.
All right, sounds good.
It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
There isn't.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota.
Sounds good.
For my friend.
It's short, too. It's like 13 seconds.
You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota.
Sounds good.
Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
Sun Devil football hosts Big 12 opponent.
Yeah, I'm liking it over here.
Highly anticipated preview of one of ASU's future rivalries on Saturday, September 9th at 7:30 p.m. for the annual Blackout Game. Make Mountain America Stadium echo from the Buttes when the Cowboys come to town. Single game and mini plan options are available to watch the Sun Devils take on Oklahoma State. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Be there, be loud, and wear black.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the Guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
I'm Byron Brown, personal injury attorney. Can you tell by the music that I'm educated and experienced? How about now? Can you tell I'm tough and I'll fight for you? That I'm down to kick it with y'all? That's a bunch of bullshit. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS. I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer.
30 seconds.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free skins. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Here we go.
Never sounded so good.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Guys, we're going live. We're going live. All right, we're live. Welcome back. Take the Points, Fox Sports 910. We're having a ball here at the CAZ Sports Bar. Packed house, watching some college football. We've got a ton of Colorado bettors here yelling and screaming. They've got a big lead here as the game's about to wrap up. But, Ben, what a great atmosphere on a Saturday.
We're shaking hands. We're kissing babies. People are getting hyped.
Yeah, well,
Colorado.
Yeah. We're not Russell Wilson kissing babies.
I'm happy you got my reference there with Sean Payne's. He's got to stop kissing babies.
Oh, my gosh.
But, yeah, packed house here. It's been great. The atmosphere is awesome. People putting in bets. I see multiple people over there already putting in bets. Some people possibly cashing out, getting ready to pay their dues. It's a good time out here at the CAZ Sports Bar.
100%. And you can follow the CAZ Sports Bar. They've got at Casino Arizona, but also follow us on social media at Jackson Groff, at Garcia Talks on Twitter, as well as at Fox 910 Saturday on Twitter. But also, we got to mention, we are also partnering with the Action Network. So every time we have our locks or our bets that we like, we put them in the Action Network, and you can follow us on Action Network at Fox 910 Saturday. You can just download the Action Network app and see what we're feeling for certain games, what locks we like, and either follow along or even maybe take our advice and bet on those games too. So the Action Network, we're thrilled to have them to log all of our bets on there. But, Ben, let's talk NFL. First week, super excited, a bunch of games. But let's start out
there's a lot to talk about. But let's talk about the 10 a.m. games, the morning games. What can fans expect from these games? We've got Texans-Ravens first off on CBS. Ravens a 9.5-point favorite. Jaguars-Colts. Jaguars are 4.5-point favorite. 49ers-Steelers. 49ers being a 2.5-point favorite. Buccaneers-Vikings. Vikings a 5.5-point favorite. And then the Titans-Saints, 2.5-point favorite. Now, Ben, when you look at these games, I want to do a two-part question. Which one intrigues you, and which one are you kind of leaning towards on possibly maybe placing a $5 bet or even a $20 bet, $10 bet, whatever here at the CAZ Sports Bar?
$1 million bet. If I had $1 million, the game, and I'll answer both your questions with one game. We've talked about it this week on the drive with Jody Ayler. Him and I went back and forth about it. It is the Houston Texans plus 9.5 against the Ravens. That I just expect DeMeco Ryans to have his team buttoned up. The Baltimore Ravens have a few injuries. Marlon Humphrey's not going to play. We still aren't sure what we're going to get out of guys like J.K. Dobbins, who are still trying to get healthy over multiple years of what kind of surgeries that he's had. And I just expect the Texans, 9.5 points, that's a lot for week one. Every team is going to be playing with really house money. We heard Johnny Venerable just say it a second ago. It's just one of those things where I expect the Texans to come out and cover 9.5. That's a big pick for me. It's a pick I really like.
Yeah, 9.5 is a lot of points for NFL. If you see it in college, it can be done, but especially with the NFL, both teams on the other side of it, for the Ravens, they've had all offseason to prepare for C.J. Stroud. How do they schematic with him defensively? But for me, Ben, when the morning games come, Bengals -2 just seems too low for me. Against the Browns kind of a team that we haven't talked a lot about. Deshaun Watson, he's done dealing with all the stuff that happened earlier. He's more focused now. And on the other side, Bengals, maybe it's because Joe Burrow is coming off of an injury, but I like the Bengals. If I don't know about the 2 points, but maybe to cover, not to cover, but the money line itself I would look at here. But Cincinnati, a lot of people have them favored. We'll talk to Casey about the Super Bowl picks. But again, I like the Bengals on the road for the Browns there. What do you think about the Bengals-Browns?
Yeah, the Bengals-Browns is interesting. I'm not sure if you know this, but Joe Burrow has barely ended a 4-game losing streak to the Browns on December 11th of last year. So he's 1-4 against the Browns in his career. He's only had a passer rating over 100, once over 90, 3 times out of those 4 games. He's struggled a little bit against the Browns. For some reason, he's able to take on teams like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We know he's got a winning record against them. He's taken the Bengals to the Super Bowl before. But for some reason, and everyone has this in the division, whether it's the Cardinals versus the Rams, it's always going to be a tough game. Whether it's the Browns and the Bengals, for some reason, Joey Burrow seems to struggle against the Cleveland Browns of all teams. So you look at that line, if you had said 2, it's interesting for me. I just looked at that line, and I'm like, man, that feels low. But the Browns seem to just have Joe Burrow's number, and until history comes out and changes itself, for now, I'd have to agree that it seems low, but it's just it's a game I'm staying away from. It's 100%. So tough to guess.
100%. Another game that I'm staying away from is the Niners-Steelers. Look, Niners on the road. What can we see from Brock Purdy in year 2? Was it a fluke? Does he have something? Is he the guy there for the 49ers? But not only that, on the other side, the Steelers defense is insane. I mean, they've got Minkah Fitzpatrick. They've got T.J. Watt. I almost said J.J. Watt. They've got great defensive backs. Patrick Peterson talking a little trash. We'll see if he can get an interception on Brock Purdy. But that's one I'm kind of sticking away there from for the morning games. Let's transition to the kind of afternoon games, Ben. We've got Packers-Bears. Bears favored by 1.5 there. Browns-Raiders. Browns are favored by 3.5. The Eagles, Patriots, Marco talked about in the first hour, leaning towards the Patriots, but the Eagles are favored by 4. Dolphins, Chargers are favored by 3.5. Seahawks. Which one kind of intrigues you that you're kind of leaning towards betting?
You mentioned it before, the Green Bay Packers being underdogs 1.5 to the Chicago Bears, who I expect to not be great this year. The Chicago Bears, I'd have to check. It'd have to take me a second to find it. I believe their over-under win total is, 8 games. 8 games. I'm taking the under on that. The Chicago Bears, I don't understand where the hype is coming from. Justin Fields is getting MVP bets, like more than anyone else in the NFL. So I look at the Bears, and they added DJ Moore. I mean, David Montgomery's gone, so the backfield by committee, it's mostly just going to be Khalil Herbert now. The offensive line is not amazing. The defense, Eddie Jackson is still there, but outside of that, mostly a bunch of guys who I'm not banking on. I expect the Packers to not only cover, but win outright against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, for me, when I'm looking at this, Broncos 3.5. I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting with this Broncos team with all these wideouts out.
A lot of points.
Yeah, these games, honestly, these afternoon games, I'm staying away from a lot of question marks with the Packers and Bears. Again, Jordan Love, what are we going to expect from him? Raiders, what are we going to expect from Jimmy G and Devontae Adams? Will Russell Wilson, Sean Payton work there? These are kind of games that I'm staying away from. I'm not really looking to bet anyone. Maybe, I guess, the only one I'd say line-wise is Seahawks -5, especially now with Kupp coming out. I'm shocked the line hasn't really changed much. It was 5 before it came out that they put him even on the IR for Cooper Kupp there. As we wrap up talking NFL Week 1 here, the Sunday night game and the Monday night game, Cowboys, Giants, and then Bills, Jets. What sticks out to you here, not only sports betting-wise, but maybe storylines or headlines that intrigues you about these two matchups?
Well, I'd stay away from the Cowboys-Giants game. You just don't know what you're going to get. The Giants don't have a great record against Dak Prescott, but they were also in flux. A lot of turbulence for those years when they were still rebuilding. I think the storylines and the spread that's the most intriguing is the Bills and the New York Jets. You see a team that just has Aaron Rodgers. What do we expect from the Jets this year? Their schedule is really tough, but it's awesome that that's on Monday Night Football. That's at MetLife Stadium. It's good to just see that ESPN and Monday Night Football and the NFL schedule makers decided this is what the people want to see in prime time. What are we going to get from Aaron Rodgers? Is it a team that we expect to do more? Is it a team that we expect to do less? Are they overhyped, underhyped? The Buffalo Bills on the other side, some people expect them to pull back. Some people think Sean McDermott is on the hot seat. A guy that's been to the playoffs multiple years. It's a lot of storylines there. 2.5 points. I have no idea which way I'm leaning there.
I'm currently looking for right now, bad radio on my part here, but I'm trying to see what the odds are for Dak Prescott to throw an interception because this guy has thrown a lot of interceptions last year. It's 50-50, -114 to throw an interception, -114 to not throw an interception. He's on the hot seat. I mean, and this is a guy, Trey Lance gets traded to the Cowboys. He's not very happy. Maybe that adds some extra motivation for the Cowboys and specifically Dak Prescott. But again, these two games, I'm probably going to stick away with, maybe leaning towards a player prop, maybe like a Garrett Wilson touchdown or, Brandon Cooks maybe over on the yards because with the Giants defensive backs, he might get more catches there on the offensive side of the ball. But, from top to bottom, Ben, we didn't even mention the Dolphins-Chargers. That's another game I'm looking forward to. But overall, a Week 1 great slate of games for the NFL for this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I was trying to look for a line for a anytime touchdown score or an Aaron Rodgers. Oh, here we go. Aaron Rodgers plus 700 anytime touchdown score. You're telling me that guy couldn't get loose far into the red zone at the 5-yard line? Loose? You're telling me he can't get a little jiggy with it and shake someone loose maybe? Or absolutely everyone just doesn't account for his legs that are better than advertised. I know he's a little bit older, but it plus 700 is a little bit tasty to me for Aaron Rodgers to be able to scoot himself in for a rushing score. I like that one.
100%. Well, on the other side, we have to go to another break here, but on the other side, we're going to talk college football, give you some updates on the scores, talk about the afternoon games as well. And, Colorado just beat Nebraska, and the fans have stormed the field. The fans have stormed the field. Prime time and Colorado, they have stormed the field after beating Nebraska. Hey, it's a new era. They're excited about this team. I don't blame them for doing it. But, what an atmosphere there. Shedeur Sanders, he's got all these fans taking selfies with him and more. But, again, we're going to talk college football other side and give you an update on the scoreboard here on Take the Points. Fuck.
All clear. Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free.
Yeah, I'm calculating.
Escape the scorching heat and get indoors.
8 minutes in the last segment you want?
Putting experience. Stay cool while mastering the greens and having a blast with family and friends. Visit Putting World today.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper.
Let's make this segment 5 minutes.
No further than BKD's Backyard Joint.
5 minutes, we'll be out at 42, come back at 46, and you'll have about 10 minutes.
Food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the back side of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Need a new big screen for the football season? Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light has your chance right now. Text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
The NFL
1 minute.
is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BALL to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code BALL only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800.
30 seconds.
In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
I'll help you get out early if you want.
Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Here we go.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
And you're live.
And we're back. Take the Points, Fox Sports 910, and we're here at the CAZ Sportsbook in the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona, and they are a proud sponsor of Take the Points, your home for Major League Baseball, NFL, UFC, college football. They've got all the games and more here. They've also got 6 self-service betting kiosks, or take advantage of the 3 betting windows open every day from, I believe it's 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. at night. They've got 8 screens dedicated to the betting lines. It's just an amazing place to be, and it's also the home of the Rocket Manooch Lager by Huss Brewing Company as well. They've got the beer. They've got food here, too. Overall, great environment. Ben, this is about your third time you've been here. What are your overall thoughts? What sticks out to you? We're on a stage right now. There's lights, but what sticks out to you most about the sports bar here at Casino Arizona?
Yeah, I guess the thing that sticks out to me the most and what I like about it the best is like, first off, all the TVs are on one side. You can see everything going on. Nothing's really spaced out. If I want to take a break from looking at something because there's a commercial going on, I can watch the Michigan State game that's going on in the other corner. I just really like that they put emphasis on some games as well. And also, I just really like the camaraderie, being around people, slapping hands, talking about the games. Hey, what's your best bet here? Hey, what do you think here? Hey, I plus this much money here. It's the camaraderie of the CAZ Sports Bar. I also like the little ticker at the top where they got the Pittsburgh versus Atlanta.
Love the ticker.
It's really cool to see, and like how they have the lines and everything, and being able to see people cash bets or go ahead and place a bet down. Also, it's just super convenient, super easy to be able to eat and place a bet at the same time.
Yep, big environment. Feels like a big old man cave here at the CAZ Sports Bar. Well, we'll give you guys an update. Some of the morning games have concluded. Ohio State beat Youngstown State 35-7.
Big shocker there.
Big shocker. Utah came back, scored 17 points in the second half. They've won. They've beaten Baylor, and they've covered. They went 20-13 at Baylor. Colorado beat Nebraska 36-14. They've covered as well. And we're looking at some of the games right now. And there's one that's kind of shocked a lot of people, including myself. 25 Clemson against Charleston Southern. Now, I don't know where Charleston Southern is, but they are currently – Clemson's only up by 4 against Charleston Southern. And right now, when I'm looking at this piece of paper here that they've given me about the opening line, which I cannot find, I'm going to go back to you, Ben, about college football. What stood out to you in these morning games here as now the mid-afternoon games are starting to roll away?
Charleston is in South Carolina, so I wanted to go ahead and help you out with that one.
Thank you.
But this is because I know my state capitals. You could just go ahead and ask me a state, and I'd give you the capital. It's one of my strengths that people don't really care about.
That's kind of a weird thing to have.
Yeah, it is kind of a real thing to think about. But yeah, let's kind of talk about Clemson. Here's something I'll ask you. Dabo Swinney does not have a lot of success outside of Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. You are the college football head. Is Dabo Swinney starting to get a tad bit overrated? Is he getting close, maybe not on it yet, but getting a little bit inching closer to the hot seat for Dabo Swinney?
Yeah, I don't know if it's more so he's overrated. I love him as a coach, to be honest, but again, I think it's more just the quarterback. I mean, Cade Klubnik. I mean, he's kind of just overwhelmed right now. New offensive coordinator there over at Clemson, but yeah, it's not more of him over it. I don't know. It's kind of like a mix of pieces. They're kind of in a transition stage where they're one of the most elite programs for a while, and it's one of those things for Dabo Swinney. How can they get themselves back up to elite status? It comes down to recruiting. It comes down to taking over. Now we see teams with the transfer portal. They're one of those teams that likes recruiting. Not a lot of transfer portal guys over there from Clemson, so I think it's kind of getting adapted to the new model of college football, but Dabo Swinney is the heart of Clemson. He'll be there for a while, but again, kind of a rough showing here early from Clemson. I'm looking right now at the sports bet, and this is funny. Clemson is playing Charleston Southern, like we mentioned, and someone has bet $400,000 that Clemson was going to beat Charles Southern. Excuse me. They bet $4,000, and Charleston Southern's football budget is currently at $4 million. So the fact that their budget's at $4 million and Dabo Swinney is making $10 million a year, kind of remarkable there. But they are a 30-point favorite against Charleston Southern. They're only up by 4, and that is the morning slate of college games. Well, on the other side, friends of the program now, Casey from the Sportsbook from Boston joins us, the CAZ Sportsbook's finest, Casey Walsh, as well as our picks and our locks for the weekend, coming up next on Fox Sports.
That was perfect. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Check this out. This is The Herd. You're excited. I'm excited.
With Colin Cowherd.
There's an old saying in sports, paralysis by analysis. Just don't overthink the room. And I thought to myself, we kind of know who's going to win in this league. I'm going Bills, Chiefs, Jags, Bengals, Eagles, Seahawks, Saints, Lions.
This is The Herd. Monday at 10. Tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's
You're
yelling
fired.
bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your casino, Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
At Lerner & Rowe, we measure our
245
based on the amount of money we recover for our clients. We're proud to say that we've collected
Long time no see.
dollars for them. And no, it didn't take a gazillion.
Exactly. That's true.
That's 5 years alone. Lerner & Rowe has recovered over
I leave after the show.
millions of dollars recovered every week. We're collecting more money for more
I'm ready to go home.
in Arizona than any other law firm. Get the money you deserve.
How are you adjusting to waking up so early every day?
Is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Come chill and get your fill at Arena Sports Grill. Arena Sports Grill is your home for Nebraska Cornhusker football and the National Football League. Watch all your favorite sports, plus off-track wagering with the ponies. Arena even caters to the night owls with breakfast on the weekends till 2. NFL Mondays and Thursdays are packed with happy hour specials daily till 7 and other incredible drink and food specials. It's Arena Sports Grill, 64th Street in Bell, North Scottsdale.
1 minute.
Friendly sports bar since 1998.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
With the Autio app riding shotgun, every road trip is an adventure.
Autio is my traveling companion. It's educational, entertaining, funny. It makes the drive come to life.
The Autio app automatically plays you stories about the natural wonders, local legends, and fascinating histories outside your car.
30 seconds.
With over 10,000 unique stories from coast to coast.
I've learned more about my hometown from the Autio app than I did growing up here.
Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis.
I've never actually listened to it. I'm excited.
That's why it's never more important to try. MSNBC. Understand.
Here's the open.
Time for the best bets, locks, and daily wager picks, courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Now joining the guys is CAZ Sportsbook expert Casey Walsh from Boston, exclusively on
I like that.
Sports 910.
Anything's possible! Anything is possible when you are here at the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Take the points. Casey Walsh joins us from the CAZ Sportsbook. And Casey, football is back. How are you feeling? Boston guy, big game for the Patriots tomorrow. But yeah, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Excited. Football's here. Sportsbook will start getting busy. Bigger bets. Football's here. Can't wait for the Patriots to beat the Eagles to give Rock some on Monday.
Okay. Sounds good there. All right, let's talk Thursday night because we talked before the show. Obviously, Thursday night being the first NFL game with the Chiefs and Lions. And you told me that a lot of people were favoring the other way, and the sportsbook did well. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so the sportsbook did good on the Thursday night game. We had a lot of people taking the Chiefs, especially when the line kept dropping. People thought Kelsey was going to play when it got to 5.5, 5. Kept betting them. Ended up closing at 3, 3.5.
So we had a lot of action on the Chiefs there. Chiefs parlay money line, as well as all the money on the over, which is typical. A lot of people, NFL, tend to bet favorites in the overs the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like the sports book did well and stuff. It's kind of like you guys are the bad guys, like you've seen the Hunger Games, like the guys that create, I forget what their name's called, but the guys that like create the games and stuff. People hear the sports book one, they're like, no, but hey, the sports book keeps winning, makes more money, everyone's happy there. But college football wise, Colorado just won big against Nebraska. Did you see a lot of people, obviously after what happened last week, start betting on Colorado?
Oh yeah, everybody was on Colorado, not just here, but sports books everywhere. What's crazy is before they played TCU Colorado, if you did the look-ahead line, you had Nebraska in that game favored by 7.5.
Wow.
Colorado wins that game. All of a sudden, now they're a 3-point favorite.
So how do you expect, obviously next week they play Colorado State. I'm putting you on the spot here, but heavy favorite for Colorado. You expect probably more people to come in and bet on next week's game as well?
Oh, of course. I don't think they're getting off the Colorado train anytime soon. Just like today, when they end up winning by 36-14.
Yeah.
So win by 22. They were minus 2.5 to close. People are just going to keep betting them.
Locally, real quick, and then we'll get into our picks here shortly. Have you seen any action between the Arizona Wildcats against Mississippi State? Have you seen any action between ASU and Oklahoma State? What are some of those games, people coming in on those?
Yeah, so far we've taken some action on Arizona plus the 9. Hometown bias pretty much. ASU, everybody's been on them.
Yeah.
Getting them now, they're plus 2.5, so they've been bought down from plus 3.5. But we've seen a lot of bets coming in on the over 53.5 on that as well.
Any Cardinals money line bets? How's the Cardinals looking?
Not many Cardinals money line bets. It's pretty much all Commanders money, teasers, money line parlays, and survivor pools are going to be huge this week on the Commanders as well.
Right on. Well, without further ado, let's get into our picks, boys, because we're going to do the local games, obviously being a sports talk radio show from Phoenix. Let's start out with Mississippi State, Arizona. Arizona, a 9-point dog, I believe is what I saw last there on the road. I'm going to start out with you, Ben. Actually, 7.5 here at the sports book.
It's up
Mississippi
to 9.
State, up to 9. Back up to 9. Ben, who do you like in this matchup? Arizona, a 9-point underdog.
Yeah, Arizona, the trenches are what's going to be the key here. Really good offensive line play, pretty good defensive line play. I like Arizona here to cover plus 9.
Okay, the over-under there is at 60.5. Casey, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'll go with Arizona covering the 9 as well.
I'm going to go AZ. Look, I don't think they cover. I think they win this game. I think Arizona goes in there and beats Mississippi State. And our board op, the executive producer back there, Ryan, is also going to pick Arizona as well. We will get to his lock in just a moment. Oklahoma State, Arizona State. Oklahoma State's favored by 2.5 is what I'm seeing. Has that line changed ever since?
Nope, that line's at 2.5.
2.5, too. Casey, who do you like in that one?
I'm actually going to go over the 53.5. Earlier in the week, it was 53.5. Got bet all the way up to 56, and now it's all the way back down to 53. So I'm going to go with the line movement there.
53. Ben, who do you like in this one? ASU and underdog.
Yeah, so I guess I had a different line here. Oklahoma State is only favored by 2 points, 2.5 points.
2.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that number there. I don't expect ASU to get really anywhere close between them and Oklahoma State. I mean, that's a real mismatch.
What school did you go to, by the way? What college did you attend?
ASU, baby.
Okay, all
not
right.
a proud Walter Cronkite alum.
And not a biased broadcaster there. Love to see it. Yeah, guys, I'm going to Oklahoma State. Look, they got the better coaching staff there. They play a 3-quarterback system. Who's going to be the quarterback? We don't know. But again, Big 12 talent versus a lot of moving pieces from ASU. I like Oklahoma State. And Ryan's going to Oklahoma State as well. Cardinals, Commanders, our last local game. Arizona Cardinals. I mean, what's the latest line you've seen? We see 7.5. Has that changed? Has it gone up to 8? Have you seen?
We have 7 and 38 for the total.
7.5 and 38 there. Look, Casey, who do you like in this one?
I'm going to go under. I think a lot of games are going to go under tomorrow, so I'm going to ride the under in that one.
And the over-under total there is 37.5. Ben, who do you like in this one?
I will take Washington. I'm sorry. I'll take the Cardinals to cover 7 points.
Cardinals to cover 7 points there for Ben. For me, I'm going Commanders. I mean, I agree with Ryan and with Gross. The Commanders, I mean, it's going to be on the road. A lot of missing pieces, a lot of mysteries from this Cardinals team. I just don't see them winning this game. I think it's going to be a tough game for the Arizona Cardinals. But we've got a new liner there, Casey. We've got a new liner. Ryan, let's get into our locks of the weekend.
We had a line.
It
Yeah,
didn't
we
fire.
did have a line. We didn't have a line. We had a line there. We could maybe
A computer problem.
a computer problem back in there. It's all good. Well, this is our locks of the weekend.
So that's what it feels like to be on the other side of it.
Exactly.
Because normally I'm firing the line.
Yeah, when you expect the liner and it doesn't
Let me
go
fire.
through. all right. Here it is. Here it is.
It's time for Take the Points to give you their locks for the weekend. Live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Okay, gambling degenerates, what are your locks? By the way, you better be gambling responsibly.
My lock, I'm going Wisconsin -5. I like the running attack there from Wisconsin. I don't know what I'm seeing from this Wazoo team. We see Tanner Mordecai. We didn't see much passing this last weekend. Look for him to throw even more against a Wazoo team that's got a lot of moving pieces. So I like Wisconsin -5. Casey, what's your lock of the week?
I'm actually going to go to the NFL tomorrow. If you can still get it, take it. If not, take the +3. I personally took Titans +3.5, but +3, get it while you can.
Against the Saints tomorrow. They'll be playing the Saints. Ben, What is your lock?
The Packers are underdogs 1.5. I like the Packers to not only cover that, but win outright against the Bears. I expect the Packers to be a very competent team this year. I don't see them pulling back as much as people think they will, just because Aaron Rodgers is not there anymore.
And then back in the studio, Ryan, what is your lock for the weekend?
I love going with the player props, so I'm going with Christian Kirk to score a touchdown.
Ooh, and do you know what the odds are on that? Is it plus money?
It was plus
anytime?
160 is where I found it. That's what I put the odds in on.
That is some good money there. Well, those are our locks of the weekend. Casey, as always, we appreciate you coming on from Boston. Best of luck to your Patriots this weekend. Tough matchup against the Eagles.
Let's go.
Let's go. And with that, what a show we had today, Ben.
2 minutes.
Well, what a good show we had today. We appreciate you filling in, but gosh, it feels so good to have football. And these last couple months are just talking about the what ifs, what could happen. I mean, we don't know. It feels so good to finally talk about football and not about what ifs. We can actually just watch ball and talk about football.
Jackson, is there anything going on in the sports world that maybe we missed today that maybe you want to hit for a brief second? We can talk about Caleb Williams not going, his dad talking about, he doesn't want to be a part of maybe a certain team, saying that it's not a great situation. We can talk about the Diamondbacks. They're tied 1-1 with the Cubs. Is there anything that maybe we're missing that we didn't hit today?
I mean, Caleb Williams, I guess, real quickly, I think he's going to go to the draft. I mean, look, he's the #1 overall pick there. But intriguing. Keep an eye out, folks. This Shedeur Sanders kid, if the Cardinals don't end up getting him out, obviously Caleb Williams at 1, it'll be interesting to see if he declares for the draft. And is he a sneaky guy? Maybe, Kyler Murray, we'll see with his contract. But Shedeur Sanders, maybe, I don't know. Cardinal uniform would be nice on him.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting with me, the Caleb Williams thing. Of course, it's GQ, very on brand for them to be able to get. It's my favorite thing ever see is not when it's the quarterback, Caleb Williams, giving a quote. You'd expect that. But when the dad or the mom gives a quote, I'm just like, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop talking for your kid. I don't know the relationship with them, but let's let Caleb Williams talk. And he's saying all the right things right now. He's focusing on USC season. He's coming out of the draft.
100%. Take the points. Fox Sports 910 live at the glorious CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. We are here every Saturday, 11 to 1. Sorry, Ben, but Mike and Mike will be back next week. We do appreciate you filling in as always. This will not be the last time Benjamin Garcia will be on the show. Follow him on Twitter at Garcia Talks. We'll be back here next week. You can also catch Rockin' Minutes with Jimmy B Monday through Friday, 1 to 4, as well as Jody Ayler in the morning. At what time, Ben?
6 to 10 a.m. That's where you'll hear this crisp, beautiful voice.
Brother. Oh, brother. Well, for Jackson Groff, Ben Garcia, again, my brother, I appreciate you coming on as always.
5.
And we will see you next Saturday live at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. This is Take the Points.